Have you ever worked hard for something only to ruin it the moment it was finally within reach? You show up late. You miss the deadline. You avoid the call. Part of you wanted this more than anything. Another part made sure it slipped right through your fingers. That's not bad luck. That's not fate. That's self-sabotage. And today, we're going to break down exactly why we do it, even when we swear we want the opposite, and what you can do to finally break the cycle. Self-sabotage is when your own actions or your own inaction block you from getting what you want. It's not always obvious. Sometimes it's loud and dramatic. You procrastinate until the last minute and miss the deadline. You oversleep the morning of an important interview. You say something you can't take back in the heat of the moment. Other times it's quiet and hard to notice. You accept work you don't have time for, then resent it. You make your goals so unrealistic that failure is inevitable. You tell yourself you'll start fresh on Monday. Every Monday. Self-sabotage is rarely about laziness or a lack of intelligence. It's about an inner tug of war between the part of you that wants change and the part of you that fears it. So why do we do it? Here's the psychology behind it. Self-sabotage doesn't come out of nowhere. It's rooted in patterns you've been building for years, often since childhood. Fear of failure. If you give something your all and it doesn't work, what does that say about you? That thought alone can be paralyzing. So instead, you hold back. That way, if you fail, you can tell yourself it's because you didn't try hard enough, not because you weren't good enough. It's a strange form of self-protection, but it keeps your ego safe at the cost of your growth. Fear of success. It sounds backwards, but success can be just as intimidating as failure. Because success changes the game. It brings more expectations, more visibility, and sometimes more pressure than you feel ready to handle. If you've spent years identifying as the underdog or the struggler, success can feel like losing a piece of who you are. So you slow yourself down to keep things familiar. Attachment wounds. If you grew up in a home where love or approval was inconsistent, you may have learned to distrust good things. Unconsciously, you might push them away before they can be taken from you. This can look like ending a relationship just when it's getting serious, turning down a job that's a perfect fit, or creating tension with someone you care about, not because you want to lose them, but because loss feels inevitable. Core beliefs and identity conflict. If you've carried a core belief like, "I'm not capable," or "I'm not worthy," achieving a goal threatens that identity. It forces you to confront the idea that your old story about yourself might be wrong. And sometimes, keeping the old story feels safer than rewriting it. Now, to really see the full picture, it helps to look at some of the most influential theories that explain why self-sabotage happens. Let's start with Carl Jung and the idea of the shadow self. Jung described the shadow as the part of ourselves we hide. The fears, desires, and impulses we don't want to admit to. When the shadow stays unacknowledged, it can run the show from behind the scenes. Self-sabotage is often the shadow at work, making choices that protect you from discomfort, but also keep you from growth. Another way to look at self-sabotage comes from Alfred Adler, who believed we all face feelings of not measuring up. Adler believed everyone experiences feelings of inferiority. Some people respond by striving harder. Others protect themselves from the pain of not measuring up by not trying at all. If you're convinced you'll never be enough, why even make the effort? This mindset feeds a cycle of inaction and missed opportunities. From a psychological perspective, Daniel Kahneman's research shows how our brain's two thinking systems can push us towards self-sabotage without us even realizing it. System 1 reacts instantly, driven by habit and emotion. System 2 takes time, weighing options carefully. Self-sabotage often happens when System 1's fears drown out System 2's reason, leading you to make safe, familiar choices that keep you in your comfort zone. And in more recent years, Brené Brown's work on vulnerability highlights how fear of being truly seen can hold us back at the very moment we're ready to move forward. Brené Brown's research on vulnerability shows that many people sabotage opportunities because they're uncomfortable with being fully seen. If you equate visibility with risk, you may unconsciously choose to shrink back just when it's time to step forward. Now let's talk about some of the patterns we fall into when we sabotage ourselves. The habits that feel small in the moment but add up over time. Procrastination. It brings short-term relief but long-term stress. The more you avoid the task, the heavier it feels. Perfectionism. You set the bar impossibly high, making failure inevitable. When you fall short, you use it as proof you were right to doubt yourself. Imposter syndrome. Even when you succeed, you feel like a fraud, so you avoid going after bigger goals to prevent being found out. Self-handicapping. You create obstacles, like not preparing, so you have an excuse if things don't go well. Chronic people-pleasing. You say yes to others so often that your own goals never make it to the top of your list. Overcommitting. You take on more than you can handle, then burn out before making progress on what really matters. Negative self-talk. You repeat the same criticisms until they shape how you act and what you believe is possible. So if you've spotted these patterns in your own life, the next question is, how do you actually stop? Let's walk through some practical steps you can take to break the cycle of self-sabotage, starting with awareness and moving toward lasting change. Step 1. Awareness. Notice the exact moment you start to act or avoid acting in a way that works against you. Ask, is this moving me closer to my goal or further away? Step 2. Identify the fear. Name it. Is it fear of failure, fear of success, fear of change, or fear of rejection? Naming it is the first step to taking away its power. Step 3. Work with your shadow. Explore the parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. Use journaling, therapy, or even honest conversations to uncover the fears and beliefs driving your sabotage. Step 4. Reframe failure. See failure as feedback, not proof of inadequacy. Ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of, what does this say about me? Step 5. Build self-trust through micro-habits. Start small. Pick one action you can take every day that aligns with your goal. When you keep that promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in your own reliability. Step 6. Remove the triggers you can control. If late nights make you miss morning deadlines, change your bedtime. If certain people drain your energy, limit your time with them. Not every trigger can be avoided, but many can. Step 7. Create an accountability system. Find someone who knows your goal and can check in on your progress. Accountability can interrupt the temptation to retreat. Self-sabotage is not a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that some part of you is trying to protect you, just in a way that no longer fits your life. When you understand the patterns, you can start making choices that serve you instead of holding you back. So ask yourself, where in your life do you see these patterns playing out? And what's one small step you can take this week to interrupt them? Because your potential isn't waiting for perfection. It's waiting for you to get out of your own way. If you found this breakdown helpful, let me know by hitting the like button and subscribing for more psychology insights. And if you've ever caught yourself in a cycle of self-sabotage, share I'm breaking the pattern in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but every small step you take is proof you're not stuck forever.